welcome to the Collingwood Rant. I'm Sly.
And I'm... Geez, we're back, Spook.
That's a really interesting thing. I'm going to go over that in a minute because it's going to be a little bit different.
No, I'm talking about the Rant. We're back this week.
Oh, cool. Oh, well, you're right.
Nothing about the fact that we're premiership contenders again.
Selections this week, or for the Richmond game. Oleg Markov, personal reasons he was out again.
Yeah, what was it this week? A bar mitzvah?
I don't know. John Nagoe, late withdrawal.
Oh, no, Markov's wife had a kid.
What, and why would you miss the game for that reason?
Oh, I just remembered that.
Yeah. Well, last time someone around Collingwood had a kid who won the flag.
Yeah, well, that won't be happening this year.
Well, don't know that.
Well, no one's pregnant.
Kruger went into concussion protocols.
Well, that's a shock.
Yeah.
Who was it this week?
I don't think anyone got hit because...
No, someone went off under the concussion. Harrison.
Harrison went off, but he came back on.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, but he'll be concussed now for a month.
Well, I don't know. I mean...
He'll be delayed concussion.
Given
when he wakes up, he starts screaming when he sees he's in a Collingwood jumper.
Well, they
gave him delayed concussion.
There's no way he could have got concussed because that would have required there was some physicality in the game. Reef McInnes admitted.
You have to wonder.
I seriously hate these fucking sort of selections, and not just against McRae, just for as long as I follow football. You lose by 11 goals to the Hawthorn, and Reef McInnes gets dropped. Jeez.
Well, it was his fault.
It came down to that, yeah. A forward in that fucking game not getting looking.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit stiff too.
Oh, but it was ridiculous. I mean, obviously we had some good ins. Lockie Schultz came back from concussion protocols. Mason Cox, Harvey Harrison. I don't even know Harvey Harrison, why was he even out? I can't remember. He was concussions, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's got concussion.
Will Parker.
Was he?
Will Parker came in.
He's a cricketer, isn't he?
Yeah. Jack Bytel. What do you think about Jack Bytel being selected? Because I know he causes a lot of angst amongst the Collingwood faithful.
Well, he's supposed to be the inside mid, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, played on the wing, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can see the sense in it. But yeah, if you're going to play on the wing as an inside mid, then how many did he extract out?
He actually had a pretty good game. He had about 27, 28 possessions.
No,
he had a pretty solid game.
Yeah. We were playing the VFL side.
Yeah, but yeah, well, that's true. He carried that form over it. I actually thought he had a decent, solid game, and I actually don't mind if they try him out, because I've said for years, I like the idea of you go back to some of these players who might not have worked out immediately at their original clubs, but then you're looking on them 2, 3, 4 years later. So Bytel's 23. Physically, he's more up to it. The one thing I noticed with his game was a very crisp main game. It was like, got the ball, let me give you a safe handball. Let me give you a short kick. And he never really seemed to take the game on. And maybe that's, who he is. But you want players to sort of every now and again go, hey.
I think there's an element of that with when you're in those young amount of games that you just don't want to be seen to be fucking up. You won't take the risks. Like, I mean, there was more than enough times that Noble dished the ball out to someone who was about to be fucking pounced on. Now, I don't necessarily always think that's Noble's fault in those instances. I think, you got players who run it next year, they call for it without really appreciating how many fucking people they're about to have jump on them. But it's that whole thing about, I guess, that manic sort of need to keep the ball moving forward. You probably err on the side of caution when you're about 10, 20 games or whatever, just so you don't want to fuck up or to be seen to be fucking up.
Yeah. But they're the sort of things I look for in players. Is like, who's going to...
fuck-ups?
Yeah. It's like when Noble fucks up. I don't mind at times when he's trying to make something happen. There are other times it's like, go for the first option. That's all you have to do. Don't fucking go for 7 evades and all that sort of shit. But that's the sort of thing I look for in younger players. Is like, and it doesn't always work out, but you go back to the 2008 final against Adelaide. Remember McCaffrey got the ball on the wing and he just ran down and he kicked that long 50-metre goal that rolled in. McCaffrey was still a pretty young player at that stage. Or 209, sorry, not 208. And they're just like, it always gives me hope that you see sort of a guy who goes, I'm going to take it on now. It's my turn. Anyway, what do you actually think about this win? What positives are there to be taken about smashing the might of the Free? But we stopped them from winning 4 in a row. Would you take that?
Yeah, I took it. What did I think about this win? This is it. Our premiership tilt's back on.
All right, so
our defences, we're back on track.
All right, so I was going to actually
say... We're back on the winner's rostrum.
The best thing for me in this game was Darcy Moore played a bit like fucking Darcy Moore that we knew.
Yeah, he started clunking quite a few marks. I made the comments. I only saw bits and pieces of the game in the first round. I had to watch the replay last night. I did comment to the boys that I thought he's certainly he's peeling off and grabbing them again, which is good to see. But who was his opponent? It was McIntosh, wasn't it? So you can't even say it was a VFL player, or can you?
I don't know. Well, they rotate so much, depending on who goes where. And McIntosh looked partly dangerous. They had the other guy, Tom Brown.
But don't ask me to name any Richmond players. I wouldn't fucking have a clue who most of them were. Shy Bolton, I recognise. Who else was there? Kane Curnow, he was out there.
Mark Lee.
No,
but I don't really give a fuck about the quality of his opposition. Just it was good to see him go for it. There's a few times watching it, we joked, he didn't go for the double-fisted punch, which he's been doing quite a bit of.
He went for the triple-fisted ham sandwich.
Yeah, but that's the one really encouraging thing. I thought Bytel was good. I thought, Parker showed a few good signs at times, did some nice stuff. So you got some little glimpses, but it really was their shit. As good as it's done.
We're talking about Richmond, aren't we? Well, I mean, looking at the first quarter last night, the intensity was really high.
Yeah, the first quarter,
yeah. And I thought, well, that's a really good sign. But when I got home and I jumped on, just to fast forward through the game for a moment, the start of the third quarter, I messaged you and said, watch them give this quarter up. And what did they do? And that's the bit that I think when you have to book in this game, it had moments of, looking good. That's what you wanted to see. That's what we would have liked to have seen a bit more over the last couple of weeks. But then you ended it exactly how you ended. But, you build up enough of a lead to sort of make that a buffer thing. But you had so many things to be boosting your percentage with, reasons to be boosting your percentage.
You had motivation.
Why couldn't you sustain that?
That's what
the bit, I think, at the end, that the way that they stopped in the last quarter, and you're looking at the ladder going, for fuck's sake, there's about 4 of you on the same points. There's 4 of you that are all split by about fucking 0.5%. Surely that boost playing a team coming into the next 3-4 games, that would have been something to build up. But this is the same thing that I thought, we would have done against North and whatnot. I don't know why, when you're so hanging out of the 8, where there's so many other sides that are probably going to make it ahead of you, that you don't go full desperation mode.
And the other thing too is, outside of the percentage, I would have thought, look, you guys have been so fucking far out of form. You've been playing in spurts. This is the game to actually, because you got the leeway to do it because they're shit. This is the game to sort of go, hey, let's find our mojo. Not for 20 minutes. Let's find it for 100 minutes. And, I was thinking about when this game played too. You go back, 13 years, 2011. Do you remember when Geelong smashed Melbourne by 170 points at Skilled Stadium? And they were the ones shaping up as going to be our opposition. And then that week we played, I'm pretty sure it was that week, but it was around that time, we played Port Adelaide over there, and it rained, and we still won by 20 goals. And it was like the side said, well, we see what you can do. This is what we can do. And it was them a little bit of posturing. And I would have really fucking liked for us to just go, not just about the percentage, but just about, hey, you've been shit for about 6 weeks. This is the time to fucking start rejigging and getting the mojo back.
To stop being shit.
To stop being shit. And to actually play with intensity for a whole game.
Yeah, look, it's horrible to say when you've had such a reasonably large win.
By 26 points.
By 20. Oh, no, actually it was 26, wasn't it? Fucking.
It's huge. It's huge in the context of last year's finals.
No, it's like that 44 in my head, but that's what we were leading by at 3/4 time.
Got about 7 goals up, yeah.
And I can't remember what I was going to say.
3/4 time. Well, you were about to brag about, why are we complaining when we won by such a big margin?
That's the thing is, you really feel bad about having a whinge about.
You should get some Vulcan syrup.
Winning a game, but actually, you can be disappointed. I think sometimes with the result, and I think in the scheme of things and where you are and what you need to do to salvage this year, if it's going to be possible, they're the games where you're given an opportunity, you didn't really feel like you took it.
Yeah, look, I agree. I mean, do you think? Actually, I'll go to that in a second. I thought Cox showed how important he is.
Oh, massively so in the ruck.
Yeah.
And even dropping back into the forward line and stuff, it did really sort of made them a bit nervous. You had with McStay there and Cox, you did have 2 big marking targets. And then the crummers could crumb. Can you imagine that? Although Elliott felt like he was, every fucking time the ball come in, he was flying for mark of the year.
Yeah, with Coxie too, you can see, like, I know he was playing against an inexperienced ruck at the time, that Samson Ryan, but when Coxie went into the ruck, you could see that Ryan was going, well, I don't know what the fuck to do. This guy's about 3 feet taller than me, and he gave away a few free kicks just by panicking. And I think Cox really brings that element, whereas Cameron doesn't.
No.
Yeah, in McStay too. Like, I was actually, I didn't know what we were getting. I thought we were getting pretty much a solid citizen when we got him from Brisbane. But his marking, his overhead marking, his one grabs are fucking pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's his biggest goal tally for us too, isn't it? Three goals. Like, didn't he have about 64 games of consecutive 2-goal results? I thought that was really encouraging. I really want to see, assuming Kruger comes out of concussion,
we're going to go to that later, yeah.
I really want to see the two of them get some time together. Maybe go out and see a movie and have some dinner or something. But you're putting Cox back and it's all great and all that sort of thing, but it's a relief type position. You just want to see two big boys going for it. Do you think Turts might clip that? He seems to like those ones. That'd be good to have two big key forwards in that forward line for a change.
Yeah. So what's this win mean? What do you take out?
It means we get 4 points.
Yeah, but what's it mean for we could win every game and still miss the 8.
Oh, it's
mathematically. It's probably more likely that's going to happen. Hawthorn's got a couple of easy ones at the end. I think they got Richmond and North or something.
There's nobody I don't think we can dislodge out of the 8 really, other than Essendon.
Yep.
It looks the Ports and all that sort of thing. They've got so many winnable games coming up. Look, it's a funny season. What you consider to be winnable, fucking sides just don't turn up some weeks. So there's a chance that there might be one or two strange outcomes. But I think you're looking at the draw and the top 8. I think it's really the first 6 should be settled. Where we could sneak in and take Essendon's spot at the moment, but we'd have to fucking win most of them, which it's a big ask.
And that goes back to the percentaging, which is interestingly Hawthorn, they beat us by 11 goals, and they beat Adelaide by like 12 goals or something. And I think that shows the difference between the hungry side and the side that's pretty much resting on their laurels, where we could have won by 15 goals, but instead we've got our lead. Let's just cruise until next week. And you look at like the teams we play now, like Carlton and Melbourne and Sydney and all that sort of stuff. They're not really directly, or Melbourne is, but the others aren't really directly oppositional to us in terms of someone's spot that we can steal. The
funny thing is, aside from Brisbane, and then Brisbane are looking really good at the moment. Is it Sydney and Carlton? Who else we got coming up? We play Melbourne.
Yep.
They're all in struggle town at the moment.
Well, Sydney's had a few injuries too, which I think shows that you get the few injuries to the wrong players, and that's it. It really opens you up.
Yeah, well, I think you look at Carlton's a classic example. They've got a very strong spine, but fucking not much of a supporting cast around them. So when parts of that spine are either off or injured or whatever, the rest of the side can't sustain it.
With Carlton, though, I think they've got a vulnerability just in the way they play. In the last 2 years, they've got a real crash and bash sort of side, and it's like, if they're not winning that, then, or they're starting to tire or whatever. And you saw this, like, with Buckley's sides are very similar. Then they were very vulnerable. This year, at the start of the year, they really added some run to that. It was like Voss went away and just sort of said, this is the way we should be playing, rather than just contest the ball. But they've lost that in the last month or so. They've sort of gone more to a crash and bash.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But anyway, in terms of like us, do you really think we're back? Fuck the Richmond game, because it really was a nothing game. It was, my cousin Doska was actually saying, it really was just strange feeling. It wasn't that packed. There wasn't that much atmosphere.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at the amount of empty seats on the tee. Do we know what the crowd number was? Did you bother looking shit up like that?
No, forward, okay.
Why don't you look it up one week? It could be interesting. It could be, like, making a point like this, it could be an interesting stat to have. Let's say there was, 60,000?
Oh,
that 40, 45?
Go check it on my phone.
No, you check it.
You check it.
You do this research. You print stuff off there.
Yeah, print some
A
stuff
lot of
up.
it's websites to even places I find questionable to go to.
What, www.collingwoodfc.com.au.
Take that back. Yeah. So yeah, it's I mean, it must have been an odd day then if no one turned up. Yeah, I actually thought that would have been a massive crowd.
It actually felt like those sort of games you play pre-season in, Mildura or wherever.
Well, was that what they were?
I don't know.
Was
They
that the
said,
Mildura cricket ground? MCG?
I mean, obviously Richmond's going to finish last or second last, and they're coming off their almost won 4 flags, but that was stopped.
Did we stop them?
We stopped them.
We stopped
Coxie
them.
stopped them.
We stopped. Yeah, he did too, didn't he?
He stuck it up and
It's good to stop winning.
yeah.
Stop them winning for 4 flags.
you'd take that, wouldn't you?
I took it.
Yeah, but they're on the way out, or if they're not already out.
Well, they don't want to do anything other than get the first draft pick, surely.
Well, surely they should have traded that pick for a small forward.
Or maybe they should go after Adam Treloar.
Should we offer...
He's playing really well.
If they finish last, before the draft, going in the trade week, should we offer them a small forward for that pick 1?
I think so.
Okay, cool. And the second rounder. Because I'm going to talk about that later too.
Will you?
Yeah. But going back to whatever the fuck we were talking about, what do you really take out of that? Do you feel like it was a stepping stone toward being back, or do you think it's just a fucking false economy?
I did see, I think a lot of that. There was an interview with Pendles after the game, and he sort of said, "Oh, look, it's good to get that winning feeling back," or something, words to that effect. But that's really about all you can say. It's like you just beat up on a weaker kid. At the end of the day, it's not like you had an unexpected win against a far better opponent.
Yeah.
Hopefully that comes in the next 4 weeks. But I mean, the reality is I don't think mentally you'd walk away from that and say, well, we're back, boys, or anything like that. I think the side's still too unsettled. There was the connection was better this week, certainly.
What happens when there's no pressure?
Well, that's exactly that, and you're not going to get that luxury for the next couple of games.
Or the rest of the month.
Again, you've lost the goey to the groin issue.
Was it a groin? Was it used officially classified?
Yeah,
as
it was
out?
groin soreness, I think they said, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've heard other stuff about why he's not playing,
and then
and whether he'll come back at all this year.
And then Joe Richards was in, and then he had gastro 12 seconds later. I think a lot of people, when they find they're playing for Collingwood, it makes them sick.
Yeah, because of the shits.
Then you go this week. You've got Bo McCreary potentially coming back, Kruger back from
Concussion protocols potentially.
You keep changing, but hopefully those two coming back in are better changes. But again, you just got no gelling or connectivity.
Well,
we seem to be shuffling blokes in and out every week, and at what point does it just become unsustainable that you just don't you clearly saw last year that when you don't have injuries and your side pretty much doesn't change other than maybe one bloke coming in because someone's out for a reason, that you are very settled, and that demonstrates that settlement. Is it, what am I?
Well, I think
am I
the
saying?
big problem
When you go into the finals, that sort of thing, you've got that structure that is you're almost at that point of the season where you know what everyone's about to do.
Yeah, if you look at it, I think defensively, you lost Murphy, which is a huge blow. And then you're juggling between Dean, Frampton, back to Dean, then you're taking Howe out of there, and you fuck around with it too much. And the forward line, I actually don't think it's that bad if you juggle it because of the way we play, the chaotic nature. It just doesn't really matter who's down there. It's the midfield that's really, really suffered because throughout the year, you've obviously lost Mitchell for the bulk of the year, and he won't be back. The Goey's been out for big chunks of the year and struggled when he's been there with his OP. Pendlebury's missed a big chunk. So that's 3 of your top 4 midfielders already out. And then you're relying on your Lockie Sullivans, your Ned Longs and all that sort of stuff. So that is where they're struggling. And, I think Cameron's had a really good year, but I'd be curious what his tap to advantage stat is because I don't think we've really been favoured in that way.
No.
And that really showcases how much we need midfield help. And I think they must know that, which is why they've recruited Bytel, Sullivan, Long. Ed Allen had a really, really good game in the VFL playing as an inside mid.
So did Charlie Dean.
Dean had a really good game. Demadia had a really good game. And Finley McRae again tore it up.
Who'd they play? The Little League side?
They won whoever they played against.
First win in 12 games or something, did I read?
Yeah, so the VFL, do they get a draft choice? They get a VFL draft choice?
Yeah, we've already traded away for a duck.
For a duck. Lockie Schultz. So you were quite angry on X when Collingwood pumped up Lockie Schultz's tyres.
Yeah,
You were really angry.
look. I think
You said spook smash.
I think the club's clearly aware that
They fucked up?
Yeah, well, but they're overcompensating with the every little thing he does as magic moments, and like I pointed out
They're trying to police our thoughts.
I resolved to call them up.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's like a sting.
I think the simple thing is we don't hate him or anything like that. We hate the fucking deal.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I keep
there's
saying
nothing wrong with Lockie Schultz. Nothing against him or anything like that. It's just that I think every time you see him, you're reminded of that fucking deal and what we're about to give up for it.
Yeah.
And it's overs, way overs, and that I think annoys people. And like I think it's natural. Some people will take it out on Schultz as a result. Again, none of it's his fault.
No.
He didn't ask for that. He didn't say, "Look, I'm not coming unless you fuck this deal up." You know.
Well, I mean, he was just sitting in WA writing his little Peanuts comic strip, and he's like, "You coming to Collingwood?" I mean, the one that got nothing against him, but fuck, I love some of the rationalisations. Like the one I've heard repeatedly is he's second on our goal kicking. You're talking about the forward line where McStay, Myercheck, Elliott, Cox, Kruger, Johnson have barely played the whole year. The only two guys who've played the bulk of the year are Hill and Schultz.
Who is leading goal kicker?
It's Bobby Hill with 25 goals from 19 games. And you say I don't do stats. And Lockie Schultz is on 16 with 21 games. And then Brady Myercheck is 19 goals in 11 games. Elliott, 18 goals, 11 games. So it really shows how much he missed those two because they got much higher.
There was something I saw about this the other day. Is you got Reef McGuinness on that?
Yeah, you're quoting messages we've had in our message group. I said Reef McGuinness is the one who can feel aggrieved. He's kicked 13 goals from 9 games, and how many of those are half games or quarter games?
That's the point I was going to make, which I probably made in that message then as well.
That's probably right after
There's
I
a lot
said
of messaging that
the
goes
one
on
who
a
can
week.
feel aggrieved is Reef McGuinness.
And you, because I hadn't to absorb your messages. Did you post it or did someone else?
No, I posted it.
Did
I
you?
said, yeah, because
well done.
I posted that link and I said,
normally you post stuff from those questionable websites.
oh, they get flagged in Facebook Messenger. Yeah, so nothing against Schultz, but it really is a fucking shit deal.
It is.
And I actually want to make this point too. If we won the flag,
we did. What are you complaining about?
This year, and we had pick 18, we gave Freeman on pick 18 and pick 36, I'd still say it's too much. You know, if you got Paul Medhurst's steak knives in the Chris Tarrant swap, and was Bobby Hill like a second rounder or some shit, and you've paid 2 picks for this guy, again, no offense to him, but that's quite a cost, you know. I remember like Malthouse years ago when I can't remember if Collingwood was interested in Gimbarra Hall, if they floated it, but you know, St Kilda allegedly wanted Simon Prestigiacomo and a draft pick, and Malthouse said, well, you're going to get 6-7 years out of Hall, and in the 2 guys we're going to get the pick and Presti we're going to hand over, St Kilda's going to get 17, 18 years out of these 2, this player and this pick. So that's the other thing with Schultz. How long is he going to play versus what we gave up?
What is he, 24, 25?
25, 26.
Yeah.
If he helps you on the flag, great. If you kick 8 goals in the grand final, no one's going to complain.
Yeah, anyway.
But, yeah, so you're playing Carlton this week.
Great. Pendle's 400th.
400th game for Pendles. Apparently no one's ever lost on their 400th game.
Well,
Wow.
history's about to change.
Carlton's coming off that surprise loss to Port Adelaide.
Surprising, but yet enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. Now, how do you work this out? So if you bring Kruger in, so you'll have Kruger, McStay and Cox up forward. Is that too tall?
It is, but one of them is just going to be rotating in and out. I mean, you'd have to have a lot more bench time, I think, you rotate them into defence. Who are we stopping up there? Curnow and McKay?
Well, that's the other thing. You bring Frampton back for Curnow, or even Charlie Dean, sorry.
Yeah.
So you got McKay's returning from the virus-related concussion. That's not suspicious at all, is it? Suddenly got a virus. He's a late withdrawal of the virus.
Oh, you're naughty, Carlton. Don't do it again, please.
And it's just like, actually, let me interject here. You're a fucking piss-weak organisation, AFL. How that doesn't, raise any red flags. And again, I'm not bagging it because it's Carlton. That's just a bonus. You could do something about that, but you won't.
No.
But you won't, because you're a piss weak organisation.
It's like, how many fucking kicks did you see go 5 metres that were paid this week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that 15-metre thing, that fucking massive change lasted a week and a half.
Yeah.
And they're standing for the AFL. It was like, we're coming down hard on this.
For a
and
week
then,
or two.
and then a week, it's like, what did we do last week? I forgot.
It just fucking... It's deplorable. And I know people blame Laura Kane. It's not her fault, because they've always been fucking piss weak. She's just... continuing the tradition of piss weekery.
Keeping the dream alive.
Yeah. So, what do you do this week? You bring Frampton back from McKay. I mean, some of it will depend on weather and shit like that.
I think the first thing you do is you ring the AFL on Monday and you say, I want to talk to the umpiring department, and you're going to say, can you just give us some idea about how many frees you're going to give Curnow this week that are going to result in goals? Just so we can start planning around that.
Did you watch the game, the Carlton-Port one?
Yep.
I thought second quarter it was disgusting the way they favoured Carlton, but I thought in the second half, I thought Port got the rub. It's almost like the umpires are being coached during the breaks and being told, I think you've gone too far this way.
Some of the softest fucking frees that bloke gets. And you love at the end of the game. I think the fucking on next to the Carlton supporters were complaining, even though the fucking free kick count was in their favour. I mean, they bag us for doing it. Well, not you and I, because we're pretty level-headed. We don't complain about much, do we?
I never complained about anything other than Disney. Is Disney running the umpiring department?
They probably are.
Oh, well, okay.
Has Curnow got mouse ears?
I don't know. So what do you do? Like, who do you bring? You bring Kruger back. You bring. I think they got to play Cox, because the way they can't have what's happened since Cox has been out is that second ruck relief ruck has just been mauled.
I think the way that you got to exploit Coxie's height and defence, and when we stopped Richmond from winning 4 in a row that year.
Would you take that?
Yeah, I'd take it again. He was a lot of the reason for that. A lot of those intercept marks, and he's good at it when he's on song. I don't know whether he's going to be fit enough now. Is it his first week back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would have done a fair bit of running with the injuries head and stuff. He should be up for the task.
I had the need, so that might have.
And Cameron's not bad at the marking.
Cameron's good around the ground,
but you've still got to deny the supply to Curnow and McKay, and that's the problem. Is there? It's still in the midfield. DeGoey, I don't think will play this week. Surely.
I don't know. Scuttlebutt is. They'll try and play him while finals possibilities are alive, and once they're not,
put him on ice.
Yeah.
Ship him off to St Kilda.
Well, I heard him say, "You're not sending me to the cooler."
I still see you.
So, what are your thoughts? I mean, can we match it with Carlton? Carlton will be, they're in free fall at the moment too. They've lost a few.
Their form's down. I know.
Outside of being North, they've done nothing the last.
Whether their training loads and that. Look, if I've fucking been saying this for about 5 weeks.
But then again, you get the break, so we get the shorter break.
Well, yeah, it's 7 into 5 or something, or was it 8 into 6?
Or playing Saturday night. So when did we play Sunday? Yeah, Sunday 1. So 6.
When do they play?
Friday night.
Yeah, so they got a bit of an advantage. But they were coming off a shorter break. Apparently, in the AFL's book of mathematics, that evens up. Short break, long break, long break, short break equals everybody's happy.
Well, not everybody.
Look, I think they're vulnerable. And if we're fucking serious, we should come out like an absolute house on fire and put it to bed early. Fucking destroy them. I'd actually bring Kruger in with the instruction in that I want to see 14 concussion protocols delivered to Carlton by the end of the third minute. Just run around like it's multi-ball out there. Just go around and crack some skulls.
One of the other encouraging things from this game was that was probably Pendlebury's best game since coming back. And I know, again, there was no pressure and shit, but he seemed a lot more into it than the last few weeks. He looked like he could barely move that arm still. So, against Carlton, who has a superior midfield, I think you really need Pendles there to play that. You probably play the run-with game on Cripps. And Crisp, I thought, had a better game. Again, it's hard to judge form based on who they played.
They're going to tag Nick, so...
Well, that Chincotta will tag him, so they're going to apply blocks and shit to try and free him up.
Yeah, he's not going to be as loose as he was on the weekend. It's going to be tough. I don't... people actually hanging their hats on this... nobody's lost a
The 400th game, yeah.
or was it the Pendles his milestone games? We haven't lost in one of his milestone games.
Oh, fucking how many milestone games he had? About 19.
About 74.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. That's just you're playing for a spot in the 8.
That should be motivation enough.
You're playing the old enemy.
Carlton have a lot of motivation in this game. I think, surely it still stings when we knocked them out of finals.
2022, yeah.
That's one, because I mean, if they win, that's probably our season done.
It is. It doesn't matter.
So you're motivated there. One, you're going to sour the 400 game. What was the game that we had? The history of the club.
92 centenary.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, that one when they fucking snuffed us out. So they got history. That's just one example. But they got a lot of motivations to put this to bed and inflict some pain. It'd be annoying to lose to Carlton at the best of times, but on a 400th game, you're there to celebrate. Pendles, you're going to be knocked out of the finals. They have a lot of motivation. I think we've got to smack them hard. I think my Kruger strategy is the one to go with.
Oh, look, it'd be great.
Do we expose Kruger to gamma radiation?
Do you have any?
I got some.
Oh, cool. Where is
Future boy.
Yeah, the disconnect, the way the side's playing is still spluttering. I mean, even against St Kilda, against Richmond, it was encouraging in patches, but it never looked quite like the way they should be playing. Probably the best thing was the first half where you had McStay taking a few marks. And it's like, that's what a key forward does, no disrespect intended to Brady Mychek, but he's always been asked to punch above his weight, so that was encouraging. He'll draw Wiedering. You've got a few players in there like McStay, like McCreary, like Cox, who are short of a run. If De Goey comes back in, is another one who's going to struggle. With De Goey, would you just say, fuck it, look, you're not fit enough because of your injury, not bagging him, but fuck it, we're not getting enough out of you for, playing you, so we'd be better off just going with anyone else.
Well, I think in a game like this, which is going to be crucial, if you're going in there with an injury cloud and those groins are going to break and you're hampered by it or whatever, there's no point playing you.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to contribute.
Would you look at playing someone like Adele instead?
Unless you played him out of the square or something like that, where he doesn't have to run too much.
Yeah, the problem is there where you got McStay and Kruger and that. How tall are you going?
Kruger's already on a mission. He'll be otherwise occupied.
So Ed Allen had his most promising game in the VFL since he got there. Would you bring him up and play him in the middle and go, you know what, you run with Cripps?
Run through Cripps?
Well, that's an option, but you run with Cripps.
Well, you got to think of this like a chess game. You got sacrificial pawns.
No, I mean, honestly...
You go out there and sacrifice a couple of weeks and just break them.
No, I mean, honestly, in terms of Allen's development...
Tonya Harding style of football.
Yeah, I think that quite works. But in terms of development, wouldn't it be really good for him to go play one of the best midfielders in the game, and you'll learn a lot, and we'll also play inside, which is where you've thrived. Do you sort of look at him... I mean, Malthouse... I'm not saying he would have played him on Chris, but Malthouse might have said, fuck it, I'm going to throw the challenge down to you.
Yeah, look, I think if we weren't still farcically a chance of making the 8, I'd have a lot of educational pieces given for certain players to come out and play, and then you've got to put everyone else on ice. I think we have to... I don't know whether we can take that sort of risk that we've got to go and put people in that are going to actually do things. That would be the way to go.
But you might surprise... I mean...
Would he?
As far as I'm aware of his form in the VFL, he's shown glimpses playing like outside on the wing and shit like this. And they've finally sort of said, look, you're just going to go fucking be in the middle. And he's had not just the glimpses, he's had a fucking brilliant game. I mean, it's like they said with Malthouse when Pendlebury was playing in the VFL and Malthouse was watching, and he said I can't remember, one of the quarter time breaks, he went out and he took Pendlebury's name from the wing and put it in the middle and said, this is the only way you're ever going to succeed.
I remember going to watch Pendlebury's first VFL game out at fucking... it was against Richmond were affiliated with, I think. Yeah, and I was there with Peeves, and I just turned to him and said, there's no chance we're going to see this bloke run around here again. Just too good from the outset. So, well, it's one of the Pendle memories. There you go. Yeah. That was 400 games ago. Do you know that?
Well, I was just going to say, so he signed a new contract.
I was a younger spook back then.
He signed a new contract, so congratulations, Pendles. He's tied to the club until 2031. Brave move by the
We're
club.
giving him 7 years.
Saves, signing him for 7 years. They want to keep away Tasmania and that. So it'd be good to see Pendles run around until he's 43.
It would be good.
Yeah. Your tip for the Collingwood Carlton game?
Blues by 10 goals.
Okay. I don't know what the fuck to say. I mean, my head says Carlton will smash us. My heart says, come on, Pies, fucking...
Yeah, don't roll over meekly.
Yeah.
No. A win would be unexpected. It'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to come away at the end of the night feeling fucking awesome.
Yep. Final thoughts?
I want to be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sound like a Radiohead song.
Is it?
No.
All right. Well, that's it from us. Maybe we'll be back next week. I don't fucking know anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Missed.
All right. We'll see you on the flip. Yo.
Later.